All right, in my video called Single Men, Single, Age Appropriate, are boring, out of shape, and bad in bed, why I don't date. I'll pin it up here. And I made a second video this morning, again, emphasizing that I'm talking about single men, because these type of men that have it together, these relationship-oriented men, they're usually not single. That's why I don't date, because the single men have a lot of issues. And you can find them in the comments, because they'll do things to try to, like, give me a little smear. They want to give me a little, they want to say something a little nasty. They preface it with, I'm a therapist, or I'm a very successful man, but want to get me. Whereas the relationship type of men, and there are men who leave comments that are in relationships, either married or long-term relationships, they leave comments a lot more measured, more self-control, like they're actually contributing to a conversation, they're actually empowered. But ladies, you gotta watch out for men that try to shush you or use like very manipulative tactics to try to get you to shut up or to put you down because they either don't like women, or they're threatened by a strong woman, or they're triggered in some way. And so they'll use like these certain words to try to establish their superiority as an authority over you. Like, I'm a therapist, and like the guy who had therapist in his name is an example. It's like he has therapist in his name. In the comment, he makes sure to say he's a therapist, and that, you know, any woman can do what you do. There's no flex in selling sex. Not that I'm selling sex, but I have it just for fans, okay? Not any woman can do what I do, because I'm actually very successful at it, and most women don't want to do what I do. They don't have the accountability, they don't have the confidence, the love of men, and the ability to like men enough to honor them in this way that I do. They can't, or they would, because there's money in it. So they can't, but he tries to put me down by letting me know that any woman could do what I do. I don't remember what I replied to him, but he came back again, reminding me again that he's a therapist, so he's got, you know, establishing his superiority or his excellence over me, I guess, because he's a therapist and I'm not. So he's somehow elevated, you know, has to elevate himself by using the therapist title, because otherwise his words don't really mean that much. So he has to remind me he's a therapist. And as a therapist, he goes, anyone can sell their body. So he's trying to put me down. So he's elevating himself as a therapist, and he's telling me I'm selling my body. I use my body in my work the same way I did when I was working in an office typing, the same way that someone does when they're farming, cooking food, or being a therapist. You are using your body to engage with another person in some way, with the customer in some way. You know, how can you not use your body? We're physical beings. We use our body to clean, to cook, to work, whatever our jobs are. Also, it's not true that women who are sugar babies or who have an OnlyFans are selling their body. Like, if men who think that women are selling their bodies are predators because they don't understand the sensuality of a woman, and they can't see sensuality. But I want you to be aware of people who use this kind of establishing themselves as an authority figure. Another place this really comes up a lot is in religion, you guys. And you do know, I hope, that I do talk to God every day. I have a relationship with God. That's my relationship with God. Not what the Bible tells me that was written by men. Not what the Bible tells me. I may make some more videos about this, because there's a lot to say about that. But in the Bible, the people who wrote the Bible created this jealous, vengeful God who loves you as long as you do exactly what he says. And he tells you not to murder, but he murders a lot of people. He kills a lot of people that don't listen to him, and he sends them to hell unless they worship him. There's just a lot of contradictions, but the idea is there's an authority figure, which is this God. Only the Bible has the knowledge of how to worship this God, so to save you, because if you don't do what the Bible says and what these priests say, you will go to hell. So you must have this authority figure. And guys, anytime there's a dictator and this authority figure and this control and this fear, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And that's what some of these people also do. That's what some people will do in their personal interactions. Like, I am, you know, so credentialed, you should listen to me. Or even people like Andrew Tate who flex, I've got women, I've got cars, I've got muscles, so listen to me. I think we have to be careful of people that we put on a pedestal or who put themselves on a pedestal. Because a lot of people put themselves on a pedestal and then they try to make themselves an authority over us. And then from there, they try to like put you down or try to control you or manipulate you. So watch out for people like that. Hopefully this person is not a real therapist, because he sounds a little unhinged and dangerous to the emotional well-being of people, because he's so unhinged at some woman making YouTube videos. So I would recommend, if he's watching this, to do some shadow work around women and around his sexuality. Then another kind of superiority guy, and this is again camouflage. He'll let you know all of his successes. This guy, and I think his comment, it just got lost. I wanted to read these comments to you. They're gone. He's like, I'm fit, I'm jacked, I got a good career, I've got a house, I've got a garden, I do this, I do that, women love me. I don't know, whatever he was saying. And he's like, Sharzad, no one's going to want you. You're way too old. You know, I'm this great guy, but guys like me would never want you. Well, then you're not really a great guy, because you're a little bit kind of reactive. Kind of like a little, not even a toddler, because they get mad if they don't get their way. This guy's just going around so easily agitated, which is a real turnoff. I like guys who are composed and emotionally regulated, but if you have to go off on some woman in the YouTube comments and tell her that no one will ever want her, you have a lot of unresolved anger and hate, and that would be someone that I would not want to date. Pretending to want to add a contribution, but then bringing out the... I also would really, really watch out for men who are moody, as these guys are that I'm talking about. They're kind of angry and moody, because imagine living with someone, and like in my home, it's so peaceful right now. Imagine some guy who easily gets off the hinges at some woman on a YouTube video. What's he going to do when I forget to pick up his dry cleaning, or he doesn't get his dinner cooked the right way? He could just go off and have a bad day and be all moody. Guys like this should be avoided at all costs. I think just reading the comments of some of these guys, the guys who put me on a pedestal, you're so beautiful, they got nothing going on because they have nothing intelligent to say. We have the people who can't even string a complete sentence together and use proper grammar. They're uneducated. They should start reading and getting some literature skills, because if I can't understand your comment and you don't even type in complete sentences, you know, you're behind the 8 ball in life. Then we have these guys that are in relationships that leave really good comments, actually contributing. They actually are thinking. That's what I mean. They're interesting men. They're emotionally regulated. And these guys are all taken, which is fine, but I'm just making my point that the kind of healthy relationship men are in a relationship. Now, these men that were going off, the therapist and this other old guy who's saying he dates much younger, no one will ever want someone older like me, he's kind of grandiose and nasty. He will get women, and he will get these young women who don't have any, he wouldn't be able to get a woman who is emotionally empowered. Guys like that have to get a woman who will put up with that bullshit. Because all these guys like that have is their money and their house and their inflated sense of self. And some women are very impressed with that. That's the only women they'll get. So I'm not saying that these guys can't get women. Some of these are fuckboys, but they all have issues. I am here to tell you that any man who has his shit together is going to be in a relationship, because a healthy man wants sex and he likes women, okay? And a man is the gatekeeper for a relationship. Now, a lot of these guys leaving comments are not guys I would want to get near, because they're mostly unhinged and they're manipulative and controlling and abusive, even in the comments. But I just wanted to point that out, because the comments tell me a lot about who the guy is. You know, and another thing I learned is that I will never, ever again be around any people who want to squash my self-expression. You know, I'm just talking about what I want and what I'm looking for, and I will never again be around guys who want to squash my self-expression, tell me to shut up, you know, who try to put me down. Like, why are you trying to put me down? And who are volatile emotionally. That is a no. You know, guys walking around angry at the world because you don't like your shitty life that you created. No thanks. So that's all out there. I was talking to a lady today. I went to a restaurant, and it's getting warm in here. I went to Pilates this morning, and then I went to go out to eat somewhere, and I was talking to the waitress for a while, and she was telling me about some friends she has that are in relationship with, like, her best friend is in a relationship with this guy who is an alcoholic. He wasn't an alcoholic when the woman met him, but now he's drinking again. And apparently this guy, she told me a lot about the childhood trauma. And this guy has never done any therapy. And now he's in his 50s and he's drinking again because he has unresolved childhood issues. Stay away from guys with unresolved childhood issues, men who hate women, men who are emotionally volatile, men who cannot handle their money, who have mental health issues, drug issues, financial issues. Watch Melanie Hamlet. She's really good about the men with issues. I don't talk about those guys because that's a big fucking class of loser, like guys that need to be supported by a woman, alcoholics, cheaters, sex addicts, alcoholics, abusive men, controlling men. I don't talk about those men because those are not men that enter my sphere. And, you know, when they're walking around the grocery store, I can't make them out. I've never dated one. I'm not around men like that. That's why I don't talk about them. But those are definitely guys to avoid. And these unhinged, superiority, grandiose guys that leave comments, you know, no.